Yeah, can you hear me? Where are others? And today I'll take attendance, okay? Yeah, let us solve these problems. I hope very first problem. Basics and canonical and symbol 2. The last file that I have uploaded to WhatsApp. Basics and canonical and symbol 2. very first problem we have solved already. Do you remember? Probability density in case of classical linear harmonic oscillator. Very first problem. Yeah. You remember? X of t, if you take a sine omega t, am I right? And usually you can define your probability by dt by capital T for oscillator, okay? Harmonic oscillator. You can write dt by capital T. T is equal to usually 2 pi root of k by m or m by k? M by k. What is omega? Harmonic oscillator. What is omega? Root of k by m. Omega is equal to 2 pi by t. 2 pi by t is equal to root of k by m. So t is equal to 2 pi root of m by k. Is that okay? So t is constant, time period, okay? So this is total, this is the part favorable, like that, okay? The ratio is defined as probability. Very first problem in Griffiths. We have started with this one, isn't it? Very first problem in Griffiths. So now that's equal to, now you have to convert dt into dx, that's it. So you have x of function of t here. What is dx? A omega cos omega t into dt, am I right? So dt is equal to dx by a omega cos omega t, but you have to convert everything into x. He is asking probability density, am I right? So probability density function, he is asking that one. That's why you need to convert that one into x. What is cos omega t in terms of sin omega t? Root of 1 minus sin square omega t, am I right? So sin omega t is x by a, sin square omega t is x square by a square, isn't it? So dx by a omega root of 1 minus x square by a square. If you take LCM in the numerator, so denominator, it will be dx by a will get cancelled, omega root of a square minus x square, okay? So now this is your probability of finding the particle from x to x plus dx. That's the probability, okay? It's the ratio, remember. I have converted this one in this way. Yeah, dt, I found dt in terms of dx. Now dt by t, that's my probability, am I right? That means this one divided by t, dx divided by, so t into omega. What is t into omega? Omega is equal to 2 pi by t. T into omega is equal to 2 pi. 2 pi root of 2 pi root of a square minus x square. That is probability of finding the particle. This is nothing but your p of x into dx. That's what he defined, okay? Or rho of x into dx. In quantum mechanics, we use the symbol rho of x. Then what is that p of x he talked about? Yeah, 1 by 2 pi root of a square minus x square. Okay? Any question? So this is the probability definition. Don't forget this one, okay? Converting that one into dx and x. And grabbing dx coefficient. Dx coefficient will be, so p of x into dx. Dx coefficient will be p of x, your probability density function. Probability per unit length. Yeah, next, second question we have done, isn't it? While discussing, we have done that second question already. Okay. Classical probability density, and I think I have drawn that diagram also, am I right? So your P of x is equal to, what is this one? 1 by 2 pi root of a square minus x square. How do you plot this one? As a function of x. Is that okay? Particle cannot go outside this minus a to plus a. Classical harmonic oscillator, A is the amplitude. It can't go outside. Only probability density should be drawn between minus a to plus a. Am I right? When x tends to a, denominator tends to 0, it tends to infinity. When x tends to minus a, then also denominator tends to 0, it tends to infinity. Okay. When x equal to 0, it will be some finite value. So it will be like this. The curve will be like this. I think I have drawn earlier, isn't it? And I have compared with the harmonic oscillator wave function. When n is too large, harmonic oscillator wave function looks like this. I mean, quantum harmonic oscillator wave function looks like this when n is too large. Yeah, we have done second one. Okay, again random walk problem, very direct question. Yeah, see the third one. Okay, very simple question. Third question. Yeah, I mean, we got one problem, isn't it, here? And that was not solved. Do you remember? I had your x of t, that can be a sin omega t or a cos omega t. That depends on the initial condition. So am I right? That depends on the initial condition. So if you take a cos omega t, you will end up with one more negative sign. We got that problem earlier. So that's why I have taken a sin omega t, so that there will be no question of that negative sign. And we need to explain that negative sign if there is any negative sign, isn't it? Are you getting my point? Whenever you take dx here, a sin omega t, you will get positive. But if you take cos here, we got negative sign. And that question remained, how to interpret that one. Yeah, so try that one with a cos omega t. Try to interpret that negative sign. I think, so dx would be different. Okay, dx will itself contain that negative sign, I think. Okay. When you have cos omega t, when you have cos omega t, so it will take care actually. So let it be. So take a sin omega t, so that, I mean, don't make probability density negative. Okay, it will never be negative. Yeah, this kind of solution for a harmonic oscillator will come when you take I think mean position as the initial point. Am I right? At time t equal to 0, displacement equal to 0. Am I right? When you put t equal to 0, x of t equal to 0. When you take mean position as the initial position, you will get this kind of solution. Yeah. So go to third problem. Third problem. So 2007. Okay, problem number 2007 in YKLIM. Third problem here. Okay, so I hope you can locate this file, basics and canonical ensemble 2. Okay, third problem. So give Boltzmann statistical definition of entropy and present its physical meaning briefly, but we don't need that one. A two-level system n is equal to n1 plus n2. Particles is distributed among eigenstate 1 and 2 with eigen energies E1 and E2. Okay, I have two energy levels, E1, E2. You put n1 number of particles here, n2 number of particles here. Okay, n1 number of particles here, n2 number of particles here. Yeah, so he was talking about something. It was B equal to V by W. I'm not getting what is V by W in case of omega, V by omega. No, I mean, so in the earlier problem, okay, you can take either x of t is equal to A cos omega t. This is when time t equal to 0, you got displacement A. That means you are taking, grabbing that one and you are leaving at the end position, okay. So at time t equal to 0, so x of 0 is equal to A. That is the condition, okay. So now, so second one is x of t, you can take it as A sin omega t also. Okay, you can take A sin omega t also. In that case, at time t equal to 0, x of 0 is equal to 0, okay. I mean, so both are solution. I told this one, isn't it? Both are solution of, so x double dot plus omega square x equal to 0. Both are solution of this differential equation, okay. And we have taken linear combination as the solution, isn't it? And from that one, we have so reduced that one, okay. Both of them are solution. But the problem is when I take this one, I end up with one more negative sign. So that's why I am not taking that one. And again, I need to explain, I couldn't do that one. So try that one, okay. If you take this one, this solution, when you take derivative, there will be one more negative sign, okay. Yeah. So I have n1 number of particles is in E1, n2 number of particle in E2. The system in contact with heat reservoir at temperature T. If a single quantum emission into reservoir occurs, population changes to n2 changes n2 minus 1, n2 changes n2 minus 1, n1 changes n1 plus 1. That means one particle is making the transition from E2 to E1. Is that okay? Single quantum emission into reservoir occurs. Quantum emission means photon, okay? Usually, photon is called as quantum of energy, isn't it? Occurs. Population changes to n2 changes to n2 minus n1, n1 changes to n1 plus n1, isn't it? So for n1 very large, okay, n2 also very large, obtain the expression for entropy change of the system. Yeah, how do you write entropy? Kb log of number of microstate. Is that okay? So let me write initial entropy. When n1 number of particle here, n2 number of particle here, let me write initial entropy. What is that one? So Kb log of what is number of microstate? When n1 number of particle here, n2 number of particle here, total number n. 2 power n is when it is n by 2, n by 2. N factorial out of n particle, n1 particle of one type, n2 particle of other type. Don't forget this one. Okay, just like in random walk problem, number of steps to be taken right and left, isn't it? Yeah. So then, final one. So this change has occurred, isn't it? Finally, you got n2 minus 1 number of particle here, n1 plus 1 number of particle here, E2, E1. Am I right? E2, E1. So what is final? Kb log of n factorial out of that. So n1 plus 1 factorial into n2 minus 1 factorial. Am I right? These many numbers of particle are in one state, these many number of particles are in other states. Simple permutation concept. Is that okay? Now what you have to do? Entropy change of the, look at the question, okay? Entropy change of the two-level system, entropy change of the reservoir. Is that okay? So entropy change of this one we are talking about system, okay? Two-level system. We are writing the entropy for two-level system. We are writing number of microstate for two-level system, remember, okay? Yeah. So delta S, SF minus SI. Now you need to use Stirling approximation. Is that okay? You need to use Stirling approximation. Anyway, that log of n factorial will get cancelled. I think, yeah, wait a second. Don't use Stirling approximation. I think this factorial, isn't it? You can do something with that one, okay? You can do something with that one. Wait a second. So kb log of n factorial, this one minus this one, am I right? When you write this one minus this one, log of a minus log of b, log of a by b. So shall I write directly? So kb outside, log of a minus log of b, or log of this one minus log of this one, that is n factorial divided by n1 plus 1 factorial, so n2 minus 1 factorial into n1 factorial, n2 factorial divided by n factorial. Log of a minus log of b, log of a by b. This is in the denominator, this is in the denominator, n factorial, this will go to numerator. Or write in one more step. Write in one more step. If you are not understanding, quickly write in one more step. So change in entropy is equal to kb log of n1 factorial, n2 factorial, n1 plus 1 factorial. How do you write? n1 plus 1 into n1 factorial, isn't it? n1 plus 1 into n1 factorial. n2 I can write it as n2 into n2 minus 1 factorial, so that I have n2 minus 1 factorial in the denominator, it will get cancelled. So no need to use Stirling approximation. I thought you can use that one because he said it is very large, isn't it? Whenever it is large, you can apply Stirling approximation. Now look at here, this n2 minus 1 factorial got cancelled, n1 factorial got cancelled. What is this one? So kb log of n2 divided by n1 plus 1. n2 divided by n1 plus 1. You got the same thing? Yeah. n2 divided by n1 plus 1. Problem number 2007. Am I right? Yeah. n2 divided by n1 plus 1. Look at here. He said n1 and n2 are too large, that's why you can neglect this one, okay? The answer that he provided is nearly equal to kb log of n2 by n1, that's what change in entropy. When it is very large, you can neglect this 1 plus 1, okay? That's what he has given. How do you find entropy change of the reservoir? I think we need some thermodynamic things because we can't find number of microstate of the reservoir, okay? We don't know that one and that is too large. Are you getting my point? You can't apply the same technique for reservoir because he hasn't mentioned what is that reservoir and how big it is and what is the number of microstate. Yeah. One. No, don't do that one. I mean, they can be large, isn't it? One is 2000, other is 1000, isn't it? Which one? Okay, here itself, if I approximate, then you will end up with nothing actually. No change in entropy. No, don't do that one. He's expecting, isn't it? Change in entropy. Actually, this is the exact one. Am I right? This is the exact answer. Yeah, your idea is why can't we do that one here itself? Yeah, be careful in those approximations, okay? You should not left up with nothing. Yeah, that will happen. Whenever you approximate e power x nearly equal to 1, when x is very small, don't do that one always, okay? Unless it is necessary, don't do this one. To take first two term usually, okay? Make it as a function. Yeah. that needs practice. Okay, this approximation question, it needs practice. Okay, now he's asking entropy change of the reservoir. What would you do? I think I haven't introduced this formula at all. I mean, because since I haven't discussed that thermodynamic part, I just get into the statistical part directly. So usually a dou S by, how did you define entropy very earlier? Entropy, a kind of, do you remember something, a dou by dou E of ln of omega, we defined this one as 1 by beta. So check it out. This derivative, this was a quantity, we try to maximize that one, isn't it? Number of microstate, we try to maximize log of number of microstate, then we end up with this one, isn't it? 1 by beta. Okay, beta, isn't it? This one defines it as beta. Beta is equal to 1 by kBt. Now let me take this kb here. 1 by t is equal to dou by dou E of, so kb ln of omega. In case of thermal equilibrium, we derived it, isn't it? We defined that one as a reciprocal of temperature, okay? And that is dou S by dou E, am I right? Dou S by dou E. And I'm keeping all of other parameters constant, okay? So what is the change here? A quantum of energy is received by the heat reservoir, am I right? A quantum of energy is received by the heat reservoir. When it receives any energy from the system, its temperature will not change. I told that assumption, isn't it? Very beginning. When it receives energy from, whenever we say it is in thermal contact with heat reservoir, our system will be very small. So our reservoir will be very large. So that reservoir temperature will not change. Okay, so it will be as a change in energy of the reservoir. So now delta S is equal to E2 minus E1 divided by T. I mean, unless you see the option, you can't get this one. Okay, because you may be thinking of something kb ln of something, isn't it? But in case of reservoir, there is no, specific things about the reservoir that is mentioned here. You have to use this kind of formula, okay? Yeah. He said from A and B derive Boltzmann formula. How? Why he said like that? Derive Boltzmann from formula. This was answer of part A. This was answer of part B. Am I right? Total change in entropy should be 0. Shall I take like that? This is system. This is reservoir. Change in entropy of the system plus change in entropy of reservoir should be equal to 0. But I need some more argument here, okay? Let me try later. Yeah, whether entropy is increased or decreased here. So whether entropy is increased or decreased. A final minus initial, we got usually when you take N2 by N1, N2 is less than N1, am I right? Usually, according to Boltzmann law, N2 will be less than N1. You got negative means, so SF minus SI, you got negative means, this is smaller, this is larger, am I right? This is larger. So that means entropy is decreased, am I right? Entropy is decreased because of this quantum transition actually, entropy is decreased. So I mean system entropy is decreased, and of course this is a positive quantity, this entropy is increased. I mean they should be in the same extent so that net will be 0, okay. Let me comment on this one, okay. So let me give some reference from Reef. So now if you just use this one, you will get Boltzmann law. So just do that one, So Kb log of N2 by N1 plus E2 minus E1 by T equal to 0. You don't need this one for Boltzmann law. You can use your probability distribution, isn't it? Mean number of, so the ratio, mean of N2 by N1, you can use your probability distribution, okay? You don't need Boltzmann law. I mean, you don't need this entropy thing, but look at here. This is a consequence of this entropy. So look at here. I can write this one as, so ln of N2 by N1 is equal to, so minus E2 minus E1 by Kb into T. E2 minus E1 by Kb into T. And N2 by N1 is equal to e raised to minus E2 by Kbt divided by e raised to minus E1 by Kbt. Can I write like this? N1 proportional to probability P1 proportional to e raised to minus beta E1, P2 proportional to e raised to minus beta E2, the ratio proportional to this one. So that's our Boltzmann law. Now do you get my point? So probability of getting E2, that is proportional to some constant into e raised to minus beta E2, probability of getting E1, so that's proportional to constant into e raised to minus beta E1. Am I right? If you need average number of particles, what would you do? You are going to multiply that probability by total number of particles. Am I right? So multiply this one by total number of particles. So you got N2 average, N1 average, take the ratio, you get the same thing. Take the ratio, you get the same thing, okay? Boltzmann law, don't forget, okay? Yeah, it is automatically taking high resolution. Yeah, is that okay now, video? Is that okay now, video? Yeah. So shall I move on? Next problem. So consider a system composed of very large number of distinguishable, n number of distinguishable atoms, non-moving and mutually non-interacting, each of which have only two non-degenerate energy level, 0 and E. Okay. So find E by N, the mean energy per atom. Okay. I mean, he said something. Just do whatever the way you have. Okay, because anyway you are preparing for multiple choice questions. That's why now you don't have to worry about the procedure. Okay. So he may. I mean, I don't know what is the method he has used. Okay. So now, so how do you find average energy? So one energy is 0, other energy is E. Am I right? Find average energy of one particle. So first find Z for one particle. What is Z for one particle? 1 plus e raised to minus beta E. Can I write like this directly? Any problem? E power 0 plus this one, isn't it? Summation over, so all possible microstate. Z is equal to Z1. I better write Z1 is equal to summation over R e raised to minus beta ER. Am I right? No degeneracy. No need to write G. Yeah. So then next one, ln of Z1. That is that. So what is that one? Or let me take so total Z for n particle Z1 whole power n. Am I right? So ln of Zn, that's equal to n. So ln of Z1 1 plus e raised to minus beta E. Am I right? So then average energy is equal to minus dou by dou beta of ln of Zn. Am I right? For total average energy. Okay, of whole system. What is this one? So minus n 1 by 1 plus e raised to minus beta E. I think minus e raised to minus beta E. Minus e raised to minus beta E. Yeah. That's why average energy per number of particle per atom, that's equal to so e raised to minus beta E divided by 1 plus e raised to minus beta E. Said in the limit n tends to infinity. What happens? I mean, mean energy per atom. Yeah, we found for thermodynamic equilibrium, compute the entropy per atom as a function of E by N. We have done part B, okay? Whatever we have done, that's for thermodynamic equilibrium. Is that okay? Whatever we have done for thermodynamic equilibrium, that's part B of the question, okay? But he was asking, write entropy per atom in terms of E by N. That's the question. How do you find entropy? This is for thermodynamic equilibrium, okay? Your Boltzmann law or whatever canonical distribution we have used, that's for thermodynamic equilibrium, okay? We shall try that part A when it is not in thermodynamic equilibrium. Yeah, indistinguishable. Yeah, so he said distinguishable or indistinguishable. Distinguishable means Z1 power n. Indistinguishable means divide by n factorial should be there. That Gibbs paradox. We tried to edit that Gibbs paradox, isn't it? So this is for indistinguishable only. Sorry, distinguishable only. Is that okay? Distinguishable. Z1 whole power n. That indistinguishability that introduced one more factor. Do you remember? Divide by n factorial in case of Gibbs paradox. Yeah, we shall continue that theory tomorrow. Okay. So we shall try that first part. So this is for part B. Okay. Part B of the question. How do you find entropy? KB. I think you can do this one, isn't it? You can do that one. Entropy per atom in terms of this one. You can always do that one. Okay. So n will come out. So ln of 1 plus e raised to minus beta e. So this one, and one more n will come out from this one. So plus beta into average energy is this one. Okay. Yeah, he said write entropy per atom. Try this one, okay? Try this one. It takes some time. Entropy per atom as a function of E bar by n, okay? As a function of E bar by n. Whatever the entropy you get here, everything should be converted into this one. Everything should be converted into this one. Try that one. And part A is when it is not in thermal equilibrium with temperature T. Yeah, wait a second. Yeah, you can answer part A. Not a big deal, not a big deal. Actually, I told a lot of logic here in case of two-level system, isn't it? Read the question properly. That over part B, when it is thermal equilibrium, no need to worry, just apply your canonical distribution technique, okay? Yeah, look at the part A. What is the maximum possible value of E by m if system is not necessarily in thermal equilibrium? What is the maximum possible value? When energy will be maximum? Yeah. If the system not necessarily in thermodynamic equilibrium, what is the maximum possible value? I mean, if it is not in thermal equilibrium, our probability distribution will not work, isn't it? I mean, we don't have to take that one, isn't it? So maximum possible value is when all of the particles are here, okay? But when you take thermal equilibrium, your probability is going to play the role. Your probability is going to play the role. It can be maximum half and half, isn't it? That we have seen. Am I right? What is this probability? So I mean, if you take E1, E2, so this probability is e raised to minus beta E2 divided by e raised to minus beta E1 plus e raised to minus beta E2. Am I right? So probability corresponds to this one, e raised to minus beta E1 divided by e raised to minus beta E2 plus e raised to minus beta E1. Am I right? Those will tend to half and half. So maximum at a very high temperature. Am I right? Those will tend to half and half. If it is in thermal equilibrium, is that okay? But if it is not in thermal equilibrium, you can assume all particle may jump off to first state. I mean, all can be in the higher state, isn't it? If all are in the higher state, energy per particle will be E. If all are energy E, if all of the particle have energy E, energy per particle is energy E. Are you getting my point? If all particles are here, zero particle here, that will never happen, okay? In nature, that will never happen in nature because it should be in thermal equilibrium at some temperature T. Am I right? Yeah, it will never happen. It's a kind of population inversion. Can you see that one? That will never happen, okay? But if you are not taking that one, all particles are here, no particle here. If all particles have got energy, E bar by n is E. Because E bar will be n into E. Am I right? N into E. Okay? Kind of hypothetical question. Okay? Kind of hypothetical question. Because it will not happen. Okay? Usually. Now look at here, if it is in thermal equilibrium, what is the maximum value of E bar by n? You should be able to answer this one without solving. E by 2, why? So what is E bar then? N by 2 number of particles here, n by 2 number of particles here, isn't it? I mean, if it is in thermal equilibrium, this probability is going to play the role. And maximum energy is when maximum temperature, when temperature is very high, isn't it? So in that case, n by 2, n by 2. In that case, I think what is average energy? How do you find average energy? How do you find average energy? Average number of particle here, average number of particle here. How do you find total average energy? N by 2 E plus n by 2 0 whole divided by? No, don't divide by 2. That's it. Okay, this is average number into energy, average number into energy. Okay, don't divide by 2. So that is E by 2. I mean N into E by 2. Or you take your last answer, try to make the approximation. Temperature tends to. So what was your last answer? Yeah. So here itself, am I right? E bar is equal to N into E raised to minus beta E 1 plus E raised to minus beta E. Am I right? Then what would you do for a very large temperature? We have to take it into denominator. Am I right? So N E. So 1 by E raised to beta E plus 1. E raised to beta E plus 1. When temperature is large, beta is very small. When beta is very small, E raised to very small, E raised to 0, 1, 1 by 2, N into E by 2. Okay. Actually, in the next chapter, we are going to use that kind of, whatever I have done, N by 2 E plus N by 2 into 0. Whatever I have done this one, this is our total average energy. Okay. In the next chapter, we are going to use this one. Because we should talk about average number of particle directly in the next chapter. Okay. So we are going to use this kind of thing in the next chapter. Okay. But you can take this one. Don't do the assumption here. Okay. So take it into denominator and do that one. If you do an assumption here, what would happen? E power 0, 1 by 2. Yeah, it will happen 1 by 2. Anyway, it will happen. N into E by 2. Is that okay? E bar is equal to N into E by 2. So that's why E bar by N is equal to E by 2. Maximum possible value. I think next one also we have done, isn't it? Polymer chain, the total number of arrangement. We should take 2 multiplied because 0 degree, 180 degree, 180 degree, 0 degree. That kind of thing will come in the next problem. Solve that one. Again, Princeton question. Yeah. I think next question I have given hint, isn't it? Molecular chain problem. Again, Princeton question. Consider one-dimensional chain consisting of large number of segments as illustrated in a figure. Let length of each segment to be A when long dimension of the segment is parallel to the chain and 0 when segment is vertical. Long dimensional normal to the chain direction. Long dimensional normal to the chain direction, that means it is vertical. Each segment has just 2 states, a horizontal orientation and vertical orientation, and each of these 2 states is non-degenerate. I hope I have given a note for degenerate case, okay? That is GR should be multiplied, okay? All probability as well as in case of, so partition function, okay? Be careful. The distance between the chain is n into x. Each segment have just 2 states, a horizontal orientation and vertical orientation, and each of these states are non-degenerate. The distance between the chain is n into x, okay? Okay, like this. So this length is n into x. Find the entropy of the chain as a function of x. How do you write? Where n is total number of the link. That's what he said. N is total number of the link. Am I right? He said n is total number of the link. Am I right? Now look at here. It's again random walk problem. It's again random walk problem. To get the this much displacement, how many number of are vertical, how many number of are horizontal. Is that okay? So now let me take this situation. So out of n, okay, n1 are vertical, n2 are horizontal, or n1 are horizontal, n2 are vertical. Let me take like that, okay. n1 are horizontal, n2 are vertical. Let me try that out, okay. Then he said x, why he used x? Each segment is of length a, am I right? Each segment is of length a, okay. Yeah, now n into x, look at here. How do you start quickly? Any idea? If n1 are horizontal, length is n1 into a, am I right? Plus n2 into 0, that is your length. Am I right? Yeah. So then he said length is n into x, n1 into a. What is unknown here? What is unknown? Unknown. n1 is unknown. n1 is the symbol that I have used here. n1 is equal to n into x by a. What is n2? n minus n1. Isn't it? Because you need n1 and n2 in terms of this one to find entropy. Just like n factorial divided by n1 factorial, n2 factorial. Is that okay? What is this one? N minus nx by a. I mean, symbols are little difficult, isn't it? I mean, use small n again, small n into x, okay? Whatever, just move on and try to apply your logic. Are you getting my point? n1 are horizontal, n2 are vertical. Then what is your length should be? Your length should be n1 into a, because whenever it is horizontal, it will add up length a. Whenever it is vertical, it will add up length 0. Total length is this one. And he said that length is equal to n into x. Okay. So forget about it. Just to equate that one so that you got n1. And you need n2 also to find entropy. Why? Entropy is equal to, so kb log of number of microstate, kb log of n factorial divided by n1 factorial, n2 factorial. Just substitute. Let me try to match this answer, okay. Log of n factorial. So nx by a factorial. So n minus nx by a factorial. Yeah, that's correct, okay. That's correct. Symbols are little difficult, okay, here in this problem. And many cases they will do that one, okay. In a very rare case, they will design question purposefully like that, okay. So that you got confusion, you get confusion with those symbols, okay. Yeah, next part of the question. Obtain the relation between temperature T of the chain and the tension force which is necessary to maintain the distance nx, assuming joint turns freely. What do you mean by that one? Read it again twice, you will definitely understand that one. Obtain the relation between temperature T of the chain and, I mean, now he is talking about thermal equilibrium, okay? I mean, he said temperature T means he is talking about thermal equilibrium. Obtain the relation between temperature T of the chain and the tension F which is necessary to maintain a distance n into x. Find average length, equate that one to n into x. And find average length using your energy, I mean, canonical distribution. Is that okay? So, I mean, if you at temperature T, I mean, assume there is a force, okay? Assume there is a force. He said, what is the force necessary to maintain this one, isn't it? Ultimately, you need to solve it for force, am I right? He asked, obtain the relation between temperature and force, isn't it? Now, you have to assume there exists a force which will result in an average length that is equal to n into x. Are you getting my point? You have to assume there is a force here. I mean, how to say? So, it is tied one side. Okay, it is fixed one side. In other side, you are applying force F here. Is that okay? And find the relation between that force and temperature to maintain distance n into x. That means you need to find average length. Just equate that average length into equal to n into x. Because now he is talking about thermal equilibrium. Is that okay? So now how do you find average one? How do you define energy now? Energy equal to either 0, E2 is equal to, I defined energy earlier, isn't it? Yeah, minus F into displacement like that. In case of hanging chain problem, I defined minus mg into that length, isn't it? Like that, I'm going to define energy like that. Is that okay? So when it is horizontal, so when it is vertical, when it is horizontal, what is that energy? Minus F into A, force into displacement. Earlier we have written minus mg into that length of the each link. Do you remember? Okay. Just take this one because you need to supply energy to make from horizontal to vertical. Okay. Whenever there is a force, you need to supply energy. So that's why that energy is negative. Okay. So this is for horizontal. Or F into 0. You can write minus F into 0. That's 0. Because when it is vertical, there will be no displacement, okay? Energy. What is your partition function? Beta Fa. Okay. So, Zn, n, small n, okay? He has taken, small n is a total number of link, am I right? He has taken like that. Small n is the total number of link. So, Z whole power n. Am I right? And the total average energy. So total average energy is equal to n into how to write, minus dou by dou beta of ln of Z for n number of link, that's equal to minus n into n here, okay, small n, total number of link, okay. Again, we have practiced that Z1, write it as Z1 for one link, okay, whatever we have written for one link, okay, minus n into Fa e raised to beta Fa divided by 1 plus e raised to beta Fa. Can I write like this? And if energy is related to minus into force into and average length is equal to average energy divided by force. That's better. Okay. Okay. Again, we just start. Yeah, is that okay now? I think, yeah, I have to check internet speed again, okay? It was not happening before. No, I mean, if it is taking some time to come to high resolution, means I think there may be problem with. Yeah. So, I mean, if you have any question on this, so try to solve like that, okay? Try to solve like that. I hope you got this one. Now equate this one to n into x. N into x, that's it. Average length equal to n into x. So that is the equation he asked. So what is the approximation at high temperature, and do that one, okay? Do that high temperature approximation. That is the last part of the question. Type of displacement in horizontal link. Yeah, what was the earlier problem? Don't divide by n factorial. Even if you divide by n factorial, nothing will happen to energy because it is beta derivative. Beta derivative, after applying log, beta derivative. If you take distinguishable or indistinguishable, nothing will happen to average energy. Are you getting my point? Usually you take it as distinguishable only. Throughout this one, you take it as distinguishable only. But whatever that Gibbs paradox taught us, so concern about that indistinguishability also, when they are identical. Is that okay? But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Because you divide by n factorial, you take log, that log of n factorial, beta derivative is 0, average energy. Okay, average energy, specific heat, so none of those quantities will be affected, okay? Only entropy will be affected. Yeah, so when we move on, I think you will get some more idea. What is first part of this problem? Quickly, what is first part of this problem? Find the entropy in terms of if length is n into x, am I right? So total number of link is n. N1 number of links are horizontal. N2 number of links are vertical. Is that okay? So now if n1 are horizontal, n1 into a plus n2 into when they are vertical, 0, isn't it? They will add 0 length to that one. That's the total length. He said total length is n into x. Am I right? I mean, situation is total length is n into x. Is that okay? From this one, you got n1. n1 is equal to nx by a. Similarly, you can find n2. What is n2? So n minus n1. Am I right? N is total number minus n1, because when you add these two, you should get this one. So that is, so n minus nx by a. Now entropy is equal to kb So ln of n factorial divided by n1 factorial n2 factorial. Just substitute these two over. First part of the problem. Okay. So second part of the problem. In second part of the problem, you need to define energy, because he said he is talking about temperature, he is talking about thermal equilibrium, and he is talking about what is the force required to maintain this distance. I mean, so what is the force required to have this much average length at temperature T? And you have to assume there is a force here. You have to assume there is a force here. Once there is a force, you can define energy. When they are vertical, so your energy is equal to minus force into displacement is 0. Am I right? Let me write it as E1. When they are horizontal, E2 is equal to minus F into displacement A, isn't it? These two are forces. Okay, one is 0, other is minus F into A. I told why the reason behind that negative sign is, yeah, if you have applied force, okay, and if there is one link which is horizontal, you have to supply energy to make it vertical. Is that okay? That's why, I mean, vertical means zero energy, isn't it? To make zero energy, you have to supply energy. That's why it is in the negative energy. You can think like that. Okay? Yeah. I mean, this modeling, okay, kind of modeling, not exactly, yeah. So now once you define this one, find partition function for one link. Again, stop. No, I think. No. So again, find partition function for one link, e raised to minus beta E1 plus e raised to minus beta E2. So 1 plus e raised to beta F. Okay. So partition function for n link is Z1 whole power n. Z1 whole power n. Again, find average energy. Find average energy. Average energy minus dou by dou beta of ln of partition function for n link, total average energy. So total average energy divided by force with negative sign, that's your average length, isn't it? Just remember this one, okay? Because energy is equated to minus force into length, average energy should be equated to minus force into average length. That is the idea behind this formula. And again equate that one to n into x. Again equate that one to n into x. Yeah, so try rest of them. Shall see in the morning, okay? I better to start either spectra or some mathematical physics, okay? Either complex analysis or spectra. Let me think of that, okay? Parallelly. Because again, whole day statistical physics is little uncomfortable. So start either spectra, atomic spectra, or complex analysis, okay? Complex analysis is very important topic, and you have to learn properly. So that first 1.5 hour, okay, 5:30 to 6:37, we shall have statistical physics. Okay, next 1 hour, we better to have some other subject, topic, okay. In the evening, again problems or whatever remained, we shall cover, okay. Yeah. So we shall see, okay, we shall see tomorrow.